I am a big advocate of medical marijuana and all of its medicinal benefits. I think marijuana is amazing, and it's funny because I don't think I've talked about this much on the podcast yet, maybe. But yeah, I never smoked weed. I did not smoke or drink. I was Tess, who's naturally high on life. I was afraid of those things, especially because my parents were drug addicts and alcoholics. I just never wanted to do those things. People called me straight edge. I didn't identify as that, but I knew that I didn't want to do drugs or alcohol. I just felt like I wanted to keep my distance from that. And then of course, in college and everybody drinking and things, I made an informed decision. For about 2 years. I thought about having a drink before I actually had the drink. I thought, oh, if the perfect scenario arises, and I might have a drink. And it did. We were on spring break, me and a few of my girlfriends. I was 20 at the time, and we went down to, go see Red Sox spring training in Fort Myers, and one of my girlfriend's mom lived in a surrounding town of that area. And we went out to Fort Myers Beach. And some guys ended up ripping their wristbands off of their wrist, and we stuck them on our wrist with gum to adhere them. And we just walked straight onto this beachfront bar, all white sand. It was freaking beautiful. And like I said, I'd been thinking about it for 2 years at that point. And when it happened, I thought, I'm on spring break with my girls. I've been considering this for some time now, and I think your girl's having a cocktail tonight. And I had always known, because I worked in a restaurant from when I was 14 years old, and I did takeout, and the bar was right behind me, and I would always stare at the Midori bottle. Bright green, so beautiful. And the cocktails that they would make with it were the prettiest cocktails I'd ever seen. And I knew, I was like, when I have a cocktail, someday, whenever that day may come, I will have a Midori sour. Now, granted, for those of you who don't know or perhaps aren't familiar, or maybe you do know and you're already laughing at me, a Midori sour isn't really much of a cocktail. It's a liqueur and sour mix. So it's not really going to do much to you, but ooh, is it tasty. I recommend as an adult perhaps adding a little vodka and making it a nice Pearl Harbor, and then you're sort of going to get where you want to go a little bit faster. Not just all sugar and empty calories and barely any liquor. But anyways, I'm not really a drunk, I swear. I'm really not. But I do appreciate a good cocktail, and I'm a bartender. So I've made many, many a delicious, well-crafted cocktail. And that's where I really appreciate a cocktail. I don't need a drink just to get drunk, but God, do I love like a well-crafted martini. Yes, I do. So we walked onto the sand, and I announced to my girlfriends, I was like, girls, I am having a cocktail tonight. And everyone got so excited that one of my girlfriends, of course, she was like, okay, I'm buying the round, because no one in college has money. You don't exactly want to buy your friends a round. But when your friend of 3 years is telling you she's going to have her first drink after like thousands of college parties you've been to together, and she's never had a drink, that's like a cause for celebration. And so I remember she offered to buy our round, and we waited in line at this bar, and, it was a beachside bar, amazing, packed to the brim. Now we're waiting in line. And I remember the bar was plastered in printed up signs that said, cash only, cash only, cash only, cash only, ATM upstairs, cash only. I mean, it was everywhere, clear as day. So while we're waiting in line, this dude comes up, starts like talking to us, telling us stories, whatever. Bartender finally comes up. My girlfriend orders 4 Midori sours for us, just, to be like a team, like all together in this, whatever. We don't care. This is what Tess wants to finally drink for her first drink ever. We're drinking it. And the guy goes, oh no, I got this. Make it 5. We should have known right away, like, not to be, not to judge, but what full-grown big man is ordering a Midori sour? Who knows anything about drinking? Probably not. Anyways, he ordered, and then when it came time to pay, he tries to hand the bartender his card. And we're all looking at him like, bro, the fucking wallpaper is a sign that says cash only. So my girlfriend's like, she's like, no, never mind. I got it. I got it. No worries. Ends up, of course, now buying 5 drinks, another fucking $10 thrown on top of it because this guy, and he's like, oh, let me go to the ATM. Yeah, I'm going to go to the ATM. Okay. He walks away. We all like sort of start drinking our drinks. I'm like, oh, that guy. And she's like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, I had to fucking buy his drink. I'm like, well, he says he's going to get cash. One of my girlfriends is like, yeah, he says he's here on spring training with the Red Sox. I'm like, wait a second. He told me he was here DJing Kanye West's party. Motherfucker done duped us for a free drink. So that was the first drink I ever had in my life. But yeah, so I knew for a while, 2 years before I had a drink, that I would have a drink when the time came. And I felt the same way about marijuana. And we will get into all my marijuana tales because they are freaking hilarious. There were several funny occasions in the beginning of me trying to smoke pot that didn't work out, but are comical anyway. But my point being is that I used to shun and have a negative attitude toward people who used marijuana. And my idea of that has completely changed. I think it has the ability to open you up to just the earth and your emotions and creativity and all of those things. And I'm fucking pumped for Chelsea Handler to be putting out her weed line, not vape, sorry. She's probably not going to do the vape anymore because I think the world has realized that vaping is pretty fucking shit. We're all going to get the popcorn lung. So maybe not vaping, but I watched her on one of Nikki Glazer's podcasts earlier in the year, actually. And Nikki was talking about her inability to, she's like, I teeter on wanting to smoke weed, but telling people I'm sober. And Chelsea just like put her right in her place. And she was like, whoa. You can be sober and smoke marijuana. Marijuana is a medicine from the earth, which you deserve. It adds a sparkle. She talks about this sparkle, and it does. I think that knowing yourself is very important and knowing your dose is very important. But I also think that weed has that magical ability. If you know the strain that you're smoking, and that's the beauty of it becoming medical and more available to us, is that we're actually knowing what we're putting in our body rather than, back in the day when we just bought it and thought, oh, I don't fucking know. And then some of it's really going to knock you on the ass. And then others is like, I'm fine. Just, So I'm really pumped for her message that she's sharing with the world, that weed is a medicine and a tool that can be used for good. She's talked about how all of her staff likes her a bit better with the weed. She, of course, is never giving up drinking, which I salute her for, but that she might be even a better person with weed. And I know that it has helped me in lots of ways, and I very much enjoy it myself.